Madam Deputy President. On October 21st, 2025, that's yesterday, more than 50 aviation workers gathered at Sydney Airport's International Terminal to protest the airport's refusal to guarantee job security for workers employed by Certis, whose contracts are set to expire in 2026. The demonstration was led by Transport Workers Union New South Wales Branch Secretary Richard Olsen and National Secretary Michael Cain. Despite Certis maintaining a relationship with Sydney Airport spanning over 5 decades, job insecurity across the aviation sector has reached crisis levels. Contracts are increasingly awarded to the lowest bidders, often at the expense of workers' protections. A stark example is Qantas's illegal outsourcing of more than 1,800 workers to companies like Swissport, which had been criticised for their very poor record on safety, pay and working conditions. Members will recall that as a result of that illegal sacking, there was a compensation package dealt by the court to the tune of $120 million, and Qantas were fined $90 million thanks to the great work of the TWU and their members. Workers fear they will lose their jobs entirely or be forced to accept significantly worse employment terms. Richard Olsen notably commented that Sydney Airport has a responsibility here to ensure that there are good, secure jobs for security workers. A whole of supply chain effort is needed to reverse the damage done by decades of cuts and fragmentation in this industry. The TWU is demanding that Sydney Airport provide explicit assurances to Certis workers that their job security, pay and conditions will be protected regardless of any future contract changes. The union is also advocating for the establishment of a Safe and Secure Skies Commission to set enforceable minimal standards across the entire aviation industry. These standards would cover all critical roles, including cabin crew, security staff, ground handlers, cleaners, caterers, pilots and refuelers. The aviation workforce has been severely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, with thousands of skilled workers driven from the industry due to inadequate support and protection. Yet airports, airlines, shareholders and senior executives have continued to generate substantial profits while workers face stagnant wages, deteriorating conditions and persistent outsourcing practices. The proposed commission would address these systemic issues by retaining skilled workers in stable employment, holding airports and airlines accountable for their labour practices, ensuring same job, same pay standards across contractors, capping excessive executive compensation and bonuses, and redirecting profits toward investment in the workforce. The TWU argues that such reforms are essential not only for worker welfare, but for the long-term safety and sustainability of Australia's aviation industry. I would like to commend the Transport Workers Union New South Wales Branch Secretary Richard Olsen and the National Secretary Michael Cain and all the aviation workers and those involved in this action, as well as the broader ongoing fight to improve workers' rights in the aviation industry. Madam Deputy President, this is a long-standing problem in the aviation industry, and not just in the aviation industry, right across the workforce actually, where companies engage contracting out methods to undercut the wages and conditions of their workforce by creating a lowest common denominator effect, whereby the companies who bid down wages and conditions get the contract. The way to fix it is to fix the supply chain from the top and ensure that those at the top of the tree, in this particular case Sydney Airport, ensure that the contracts they're letting adequately recompense workers for their effort so that we don't have this lowest common denominator effect and bid down wages and conditions. I want to commend the TWU for their work in this area and wish them all the best in this campaign to make sure that workers get properly recompensed.
Further speakers?